This is a special presentation for the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino on the Bleav Podcast Network.
What is going on, you guys? Rick Ucchino here for SB Nation and the Bleav Podcast Network. And if you do not know my guest at this time, you haven't been paying attention to Monday Night Raw. She is a former NXT Tag Team Champion, 2023 Monday Night Raw draft selection, and maybe, just maybe, soon to be Miss Money in the Bank. She is Zoey Stark. Zoey, how are we doing today?
I'm amazing. How are you? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Happy to get a chance to chat with you once again here, because we spoke just a few weeks ago at the WrestleMania press junket. Crazy day.
Yes.
Got a few minutes. Great to catch up with you. So much has changed since we spoke just a few weeks ago. Feels like a lifetime ago at this point. Let's start with April 28th. Night one.
All right.
WWE Draft. You officially get the call up to the main roster. You find out that you are going to Monday Night Raw. Did you have a feeling that it was going to be your night, your time? And what's going through your mind when you hear your name get called after all of the work that you have put in? 8 years on the independents, coming back from an ACL tear. You know, what was that feeling like for you on that night?
Oh, you know your history, huh? It was very emotional for me. I definitely did have a feeling that was going to be my night. I definitely feel like I belong on the main roster with those girls. I feel like I'm one of the top performers that could really be in WWE. So I felt amazing, and it was a very tearful, enjoyable night.
Now, was it also a bit bittersweet? Because when we talked back in where were we? Los Angeles? Is that what city we were in at that time?
Yes, we were in Los Angeles.
Yeah, guys, again, just crazy trying to keep track of everything in my life right now. But when we talked back then, you were about ready to challenge for the NXT Championship. Feels like you left some unfinished business behind in NXT. So was it kind of a bittersweet moment when you moved on, when you still had goals you hadn't met yet on Tuesday nights?
Definitely. One of my big goals, it was to become the NXT Women's Champion, and sadly that didn't happen. But Sean pulled me aside and said I had bigger fish to fry, and boy, was he right. Everything happens for a reason. So, and I'm definitely getting my time now. I didn't get that time on NXT being the champion, but I'm climbing my way up right now. Money in the Bank. I have a big opportunity ahead of me.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to get to that, but let's go through the last few weeks here, right? Because for an NXT superstar getting called up to the main roster, short of winning a world title on your first night, like, we saw with Paige so many years ago, I don't think you could really ask to be put in a better position right off the bat than where you find yourself right now, right? You rack up a few wins, shock the world in Saudi Arabia. You hit the Z360 on Becky Lynch, join forces with Trish Stratus, and now you're smack dab in the middle of a battle between a Hall of Famer and a future Hall of Famer, two GOATs, as the kids would say. Take me through this whirlwind that's been the last few weeks for you here.
If you were to tell me while I was still in NXT, hey, in 1 month, you're going to be working with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch, I would say you are absolutely out of your mind crazy. There's no way that would ever happen. And, Hunter put me in this position because he knows I can handle it and hang with those two girls. And I think I'm proving myself right now.
Now, obviously nobody kind of expects that. And, you just kind of alluded to it here that, Triple H had that faith in you. Was there anything though that you kind of learned in the fact that they did trust you about? Did you learn anything about yourself that they trusted you enough to put you in this position?
I think you learn a lot about yourself when you are like, while I was underneath that ring, that was my moment. So you learn a lot right then and there of like, all right, it's time to go and time to hang with these ladies. I can't fall short. This is it. It's my one opportunity. I get one shot to prove the world that I belong in that ring with those two, with a Hall of Famer and a future Hall of Famer. That I couldn't ask for a better position.
So, okay, now take me through this moment here where, first off, they fly you all the way out to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
To lie underneath the ring. So you're You're lying underneath the ring and you're just sitting there and you're waiting with nothing to do but stew and think and wait to hit your cue. What is going through the mind of Zoey Stark as Trish and Becky are putting on this banger?
I was fangirling a little bit. I almost forgot that I was under a ring for a second until Trish came under. She's like, all right, kid, it's your time. Here we go. And next thing I know, I'm out there. So it's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better spot right now.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were really happy about that opportunity, seeing you get that spot. I was one of them. And, I hope you don't mind that there's a lot of like merch of your biggest rival right now behind me. But, even me as a Becky.
You'll have merch of me very, very soon. And
yes.
I'm going to be plastered all over that wall.
I'm looking forward to it. WWE shop.
Where's Trish?
Huh?
Where's Trish?
I don't have one of her.
That's kind of a problem.
It is a problem. Admittedly, it is a problem. I used to be an avid collector.
You should at least have a thinking Trish shirt or something.
I used to be an avid collector, and then I had 2 kids. So,
okay. So blame it on the kids. It's all the kids' fault. Okay.
So the collection stopped about 4 years ago. I was in the process of working it out, but I would
make sure you had Becky Lynch. It's okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, priorities being
okay.
But,
really? All right. We'll switch that over here very soon.
But even me being the Becky Lynch homer that I am, right? I was happy to see you get put in that spot because, like you said, it is a major opportunity to get thrown in there. And I love it when, like they brought up so many of you guys from NXT in this 2023 class, and so many people get worked in different ways. And it is kind of refreshing to see somebody kind of get that. Oh yeah, here you go. We're throwing her in the deep end, and you're a part of the biggest storyline we got going on right now in the Red Brand.
Yeah, it's sink or swim right now. And I feel like I'm swimming pretty well. At about everyone in the draft, I've made the biggest splash so far.
Let's talk about the GOAT. Let's give Trish her flowers here, since I don't have.
About to say, I hope you're about to say Trish after saying the GOAT. I was praying you weren't about to say Becky Lynch.
Yes. So I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. And I watch my words. I choose my words very carefully. But you will get fans especially, who get into these arguments all the time about, who's the best. And, you see this in basketball a lot, Jordan and LeBron, things like that. And these greatest of all time arguments are always very subjective, right? And frankly, almost impossible to determine, because as time moves on, things evolve, businesses evolve. And I do think it's entirely possible to consider Trish to be one of the greatest of all time, and simultaneously to say that she never really reached her full potential as a performer due to restraints and lack of opportunities of her time, right? So
yeah, but now she's able to prove that now.
Yes,
right?
And she hasn't missed a beat. Not missed a beat. Looks like she could be full-time every day, still going, and I love her for that. How much of an influence did Trish have on a young Zoey Stark as a fan and future professional wrestler?
Very big influence. The Raw that she main evented with Lita, that's, I think, at least for me, and I'm going to speak on a lot for all the girls out there, I feel like that was the moment in time where we all realized, hey, we could do this and we can be taken seriously and we can main event shows. Since that happened, Charlotte, Becky, Ronda, they were all able to main event WrestleMania. Yeah. Now Bianca's been able to do it. It's just like all of us girls are able to do so much more because that one match happened. So I would say that, she's very influential.
And now you get a chance to work with her on a weekly basis. You guys have been this team for just a couple of weeks now, but have you been able to kind of pick her brain a little bit and learn anything from her so far?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I'm not going to share that with you. What if Becky Lynch is listening or anything like that? What she tells me is between us two. It's not for the world to know.
Fair.
Right. Yes. So, but yeah, she's been a great mentor.
So young Zoey Stark watching Trish Stratus. Zoey Stark, where you are now, you are working with Trish Stratus. I want to go back to the in-between here. Take me back to the days before NXT. Who is Lacey Ryan, and what would she think of Zoey Stark today?
Oh my goodness, I hated that name. That was just the worst name ever. I'm not a Lacey Ryan in the slightest. But I would have to say Lacey would be very proud of where Zoey Stark is at right now. And I've done more than what I ever thought I could ever do.
Now,
and it's just the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you've been doing this since, what was it, 2012, something?
12.
Yeah,
2012.
2012, something like that. And yeah, it's this journey has been so long already, over a decade now for you, but it really does feel like you're just getting started.
Yeah, like it's just now starting, and it's my time right now. I think the years before that, it all prepared me for this very moment, and I feel like that's why it took me a little longer than anybody else to really get here, because I needed to go through that process.
Everybody's path to WWE, NXT, wherever they come in, it's all different, right? You have
always different. Yeah.
You have people who spend years busting their butt on the indies like you did. Some people come out of college, go to the PC, right? But I feel like in everybody's journey, there's at least a person or an opportunity that comes along that a talent can kind of point to and say, I would not be where I am right now without this happening or without meeting this person. Is there something or someone that you can kind of point to and give some credit to for where you are right now?
So yeah, if I didn't do the Shimmer show that I did that Allison Danger set up for me, I definitely would not be where I'm at right now. That's where Gabe Sapolsky found me, and he gave me the opportunity to do a WWE tryout. And then from there, everything was done. I did my tryout, coaches loved me, they hired me, and everything's been going since then. So if I didn't do that Shimmer show, I don't know where I would be right now.
Well, where you're going to right now is Money in the Bank.
Yep. Yep.
First weekend in July in London. So another overseas trip for you. So at least you'll be like in the ring this time and not underneath it.
Yeah. I'll just be on top of ladders this time.
Yeah, you might, who knows? You might end up falling all the way, through the ring, and you're back there on the floor again.
Yeah, I'm back down on the floor underneath it all over again, just where it started.
Hopefully not, but you have plenty of experience in ladder matches. We just saw you in one at Stand and Deliver. A lot of history with ladder matches with yourself in NXT. But then you mentioned it earlier. This is a big opportunity to further show this main roster audience, many of them who are still getting to know you, right?
Yeah.
They have been introduced. They have been told, hey, she's with Trish, she's with Becky, she's going to be a big deal. What do you want to show people who are just getting to know you in this ladder match?
My agility, my aggressiveness. I don't take any crap from anyone. What you see is what you get with me. So I'm really excited to really showcase myself in the ladder match, because I've had a couple of matches now, but I don't feel like I'm able to put everything out there yet. So I'm really hoping to do that for Money in the Bank.
I love the words of, take no crap from nobody, because it kind of reminds me of what Mark Henry said, another WWE Hall of Famer. Talked about Trish, Mark as well. He was talking about you on Busted Open a few weeks ago. I don't know if you heard what he said, but I wrote the quote down here. Zoey has that no nonsense, I'm going to kick your ass personality with the skills of a Bret Hart or Iron Sheik. And that quote hits more today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just heartbreaker there. But I just don't see why she wouldn't be a champion. When you hear somebody like Mark Henry, a former world champion, a WWE Hall of Famer, speak of you that way, what does that mean to you?
Man, that means the world. And I love Mark. He's been incredible to me throughout my journey so far. He's been very complimentary. He's been willing to help. That means a lot. You're getting people like Mark Henry and Shawn Michaels all saying these things, that the sky is the limit to me. So knowing that I have these legends behind me saying that I could do whatever I want, as long as I put my mind to it, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Now, let's look into the crystal ball here. You win the Money in the Bank, right? History repeats itself. Becky's fingertips away from the briefcase, and once again somebody shoves her off and she goes flying through a table for what I feel like would be the fourth time in her career, right? You climb the ladder, you pull down the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, what we typically have seen outside of Carmella, who is a major outlier in the fact that she has held the briefcase longer than everybody else who has won that briefcase, within 48 hours, they're holding a world championship in their hands. Would you much rather cash in as quickly as possible, or would you love the opportunity to kind of play this stalker role that we haven't really seen out of Miss Money in the Bank in a while?
I think I would want to hold on to it for a little bit, really figure out who I want to go up against and study them and get a game plan going. So yeah, hold on to it for as long as possible.
And of course, pick the opportune moment in the right time.
Exactly. You gotta be smart about it. You can't just get rid of it. You got to really figure out what is the best time for you to cash that in.
Like I said, you came up with over a dozen NXT superstars this year, both of them both coming to Raw and on SmackDown.
Yeah.
There was one person, though, in particular, you gave a shout out to on social media when the draft went down on Monday night, and that was Grayson Waller, who got drafted over to Friday Night SmackDown. You had very, very high praise for him. What is it about Grayson Waller that you personally see in him and his potential to be a huge superstar in the main roster on Friday nights?
Man, he's so charismatic. He has so much confidence in his abilities and what he does. That's why I love him so much. His promo work is top notch. I actually go to Grayson Waller from time to time and I try and pick his brain about promos. He's great at what he does. So I'm glad he's finally getting that spotlight.
Yeah,
and being able to do a show on SmackDown, like that's awesome. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I also talked to him in Los Angeles, and it's weird. It's like he's insulting me, but at the same time, he is so charismatic. It's like I can't help but like the guy, like
right.
it's so dang weird. It's such a weird dynamic. But
it's the weirdest thing ever, but he's not gonna like me saying this. He's a good guy. He is. He has a hard shell.
I mean, the guy used to be a history teacher, for crying out loud. I mean, he's got.
I know. How crazy is that?
Right.
I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It was absolutely insane. But as he told me, he's like, got to pay the bills until something else comes along, and thankfully he's got that opportunity right now. Final question here for you, Zoey, because I know your time is valuable, but so much is focused on what you do in the ring and what you do to get ready for the ring outside of it. What do you like to do in your free time when you're not wrestling, when you're not training, when you're not thinking about wrestling? What is Zoey Stark all about?
I'm super easy. I love being at home, being with my husband, being with my cat, just putting on Netflix and binge watching whatever show is on at the time. So I don't do much, so very easy, very simple.
I saw the adorable fluff ball on Twitter. Yeah.
Isn't he the cutest? Like, that's my baby. That's my fur baby.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
I have 2 cats, a dog, 2 kids.
You're busy man, huh?
Yeah. And somehow I have more jobs than all of them combined. So yeah, it's
right.
Absolutely insane. But Zoey, it's always great to get the chance to catch up with you, and I appreciate your time, and good luck at Money in the Bank. Good luck moving forward, and I can't wait to see more of the evolution of Zoey Stark.